Okay, so we can start now. Hey everybody, I'm Bionic Potato. I'm the host of the Arcodcast or Arcod Competitive Podcast. You'll hear that these guys call me CJ or Bionic or even Potato, which I don't like, but it's, whatever. Everybody else in this are either friends of mine or mods from other subreddits because our guest we were supposed to have bailed for the day. So go ahead and introduce yourself, starting with Preston.
Hi, I'm Preston. I don't know what else to say about it. Next.
Ride out, go for it.
I'm Whiteout. I'm a mod at COD Competitive. I work for CTV Stats. I've been there since it was an idea in the IRC, and that's about it for me.
Gomlism.
What's up, guys? I'm Gomlism. This is my third time on the podcast, and someone this mic is giving incredible feedback.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been banned from the subreddit for a week because I made a pretty bad bet. So, yeah. Bryn?
Yo, I'm Bryn, all things Bryn on Reddit. I'm mod of Optic Gaming. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see me normally arguing with COD Dynamite or someone similar. So, yeah.
No, for those of you who don't know about the bets that Gom is talking about, the mods literally lost every single one we made. We made bets we didn't think we would ever lose, and we lost every single one. So, yeah, we were really, really unlucky, and Optic just decided to spite us. That's the whole reason they won.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected that in the end.
Okay, so Preston, we want to talk about X Games first, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's go for it. Preston, you can start.
I don't know which you want me to start with. Just start asking me questions about it, then and I'll tell you about it.
Talk about what you liked first. What was your favorite part about the event?
The finals. The finals were hype as shit, dude. The crowd was crazy. There was only like 50 or 60 people in the actual stands.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. Well, there wasn't very much seating room, and the only people that got seats in the actual stands were people that bought the VIP upgrade for the X Games.
Yeah.
Everyone else had to stand behind TVs behind the stands.
Oh.
Yeah. But even with still, it sounded like there were a lot more people in the stands than there actually were.
It did. So I guess one thing would be kind of fun to do. Also, talk about what our predictions were for X Games and how freaking wrong we were. Because I think my predictions for X Games was, I was kind of close, I guess. I had EG, Optic, Envy. I thought Optic would finally beat Envy, which they did, but that's still very questionable to a lot of people.
I mean, I think everyone kind of thought EG would win, but everyone hoped for other teams to win.
EG played
like
terribly.
You hope, like CJ, I know your favorite team is TK. I bet you hoped TK would win the event, but you kind of just expected EG to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's like that.
That EG team did not even look like the same. Like, people keep talking about how they're finally getting outplayed. They just didn't even look like themselves.
No, just the meta changed with the MTAR, the switch from the MTAR to the vectors with pre-aiming all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess other teams adapted better to that than EG.
Yeah. They didn't have the normal dominant nature. So.
I think their search game's kind of rubbish right now as well. They really need to improve that because Crim seems to carry so much. Yeah. And like Karma doesn't get the first blood like he used to. So.
So yeah, I predicted a combination of EG winning and then Optic or Envy first or second. After watching Optic win, or win their first match, I sort of changed my prediction and thought they would have a second place finish. And TK looked a lot stronger than I expected.
Joe.
The number one shocker for me was EG playing as bad as they did. It was not even close to what I expected to happen. I thought EG would come in hot. I thought they would start off slow, but because they were under-practiced, and then as the weekend progressed, they would just get better and better. And once EG starts going, they usually can't be stopped. But that didn't happen that weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. What I predicted, of course, EG to win, Envy to lose to EG again in the finals, and either Optic Gaming or TK come in third. But I didn't expect Optic Nation to do as bad as they did because
Yeah, that was surprising, actually.
kind of
They, whew, they
kind of
were
expected.
terrible.
I mean, it's kind of expected. How many times do you see them on practicing?
That's true. And then that's another thing we can talk about. The whole, do you consider playing just league matches enough practice with your team or not? Because,
Well, let's finish.
frankly,
X Games.
I just
first.
meant for later.
Yeah. The whole
What?
setup with X Games was pretty casual as far as pros go. I know one time I was with my friend, him and I went to the X Games, and they had a setup to where you could just go play Call of Duty on LAN if you wanted to, and I was playing a couple games on there, and my friend had just had a seat, and just the whole Optic team just came and sat next to him, and he was sitting next to Clayster, so we got to talk to Clayster for a little while. It was pretty casual. The pros were just sitting next to everyone in the stands, and you just walk up to them whenever. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Preston's the gigantic slayer for the team that I kind of play with. He discovered he's shit on Xbox One and on LAN.
I was very bad at it. Well, I play on 360 online, and I am a warrior.
Yes, you are. Okay. Gom, you have anything else to add?
I wasn't really at the event. The main storylines were, of course, Optic winning, and then the stream doing amazingly well for a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
And a game that a lot of people are calling dead, or saying has no growth, has actually proved the opposite with the X Games, so...
True.
We could get into that next.
It's true. We need to talk about 10K first.
Okay.
Those who don't know, our subreddit finally hit 10,000 subscribers. The mods have been talking about it for about 2 weeks now. We're getting excited and just kind of, it's a really big milestone as far as growth of a subreddit. For your first 10K, especially since our Twitter has been at 11.5 for about a week now. But it's really, it's cool. I mean, you guys are what make us be able to do all these things. Like, we get to talk to pros. It's like, I got to talk to Gandhi and Optic Hazard and Dre and JCap, all those people, pretty much on a daily basis, and all that's because of you guys. So, thank you. It lets me fanboy about people, like, every day. So, it's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it also just goes to show how much of this community is active on Twitter, that the actual Twitter following of the subreddit is bigger than the Reddit following. It's a lot of people usually boast about how popular COD pros are compared to pros in other esports, and they base a lot of it on Twitter followers, which I think isn't the best metric. It's a good metric, but it's not the only metric out there, and a lot of people need to understand that Twitter followers do skew a lot of people's opinion on how big of a following someone has.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know, with mods, can you see how many unique viewers there are on the subreddit
Not at any
Yeah.
given time, but we can see at the end of a day.
at the end of the day?
Dailies.
That's
What
actually a
about,
public page. Everybody can see that.
really?
Yeah.
What about monthly? Can you see how many
We can
more,
see monthly.
how many more unique viewers are there on the subreddit
I'll look
than
it
how
up
many
right now.
subs are there compared to how many subs?
Well, I mean, daily we hit about our total number of subscribers in unique viewers.
Really?
Pretty much daily.
Oh,
We hit
okay.
like 8,000 to 10,000 a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in
So a
terms
lot more-
of numbers,
So a lot more
are-
people know about us than are
Oh, yeah.
subscribed to the subreddit. So
On X Games Day, right around where X Games started, we had 20,000 unique viewers on our subreddit.
yeah.
So that's not even the biggest for our year. That's just the biggest in the last basically month or so. So that's just gives you like a straight up idea of what an event does to our subreddit and how many people just don't subscribe for whatever reason.
Whale linked it in the chat if anybody wants to look at that. So it's pretty cool.
in terms of numbers, our subreddit isn't the biggest Call of Duty subreddit, but like when it comes to subscribers, but in terms of just sheer activity and active users, we completely destroy all the other COD subreddits. Like, it's not even close.
There's one other aspect that we really love that you guys do also. Subreddits, it's really uncommon to have 300,000 page views, for example, from 14,000 people. That doesn't happen very often.
So
We
how-
had some days, like we had 210,000 unique viewers throughout the month of January
yeah.
with 4.5 million page views.
That was the roster change bonanza that went on.
But that's what I mean. But you don't
Yeah.
you don't see another subreddit that has like that small of a percentage of uniques with that many page views. So our fans are really dedicated. Now, probably half of those are me, but still, 2 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's so great to see for the growth of the esport for COD competitive to get 10k. I mean, it's the most viewed place for competitive at the moment. That's like almost like there's a forum. I mean, other than Twitter being used to discuss things, so it's the one place people can go to. I mean, on the Optic Gaming subreddit, I'm going to blag this now, we hit 4k this week, which is like incredible to think how many people watched that stream. 150k people watched that stream on MLG, and only 4k people are sub to one subreddit and 10k to another. Like, in comparison, the numbers of people there is kind of crazy.
Yeah, especially for the comparison to the sub that's all fans. It's amazing that Optic hit 4,000 by themselves.
Yeah. I think a lot of people like tend to like, I don't know, because there's so many contrasting opinions towards Optic that we're all 12-year-old fanboys, that a lot of people tend to stray away from COD competitive because there's some hostility there. But 90% of people are great with it.
The hostility on the subreddit, man.
Oh, that's another thing we need to talk about. Oh, God. Well, that post that Slop Nessie made was originally supposed to be titled "The Nice Police."
We're looking
Not
at
even
you,
kidding.
Canadork. We're looking at you.
Hey, Canador's not that bad anymore. He
I'm
really is
messing
not.
around.
He's been good lately.
Just messing around.
It's much
But
worse.
there's a lot of hostility. Like I'll come out and be honest. Like I've been negative a little bit. I've been in a bad place for about a month. I just wasn't happy living my life, I guess, whatever you're gonna say. But it's starting to get better now, so I'm being a little more positive. But people are really, really negative. Like if someone, I understand we all hate it when there's duplicate posts, but I've seen people like be like, "Hey, dumbass, go use the search bar," and it's like, why is that necessary?
Yeah, be fucking
Why?
nice about it. Chill.
Like how you just said, be fucking nice about it.
The thing that I really, really hate to see that I see a lot from the subreddit is people shitting on casual players. That needs to stop immediately because
Yes.
it just makes us look awful, and you don't get people to look into competitive if you're a complete dick to them. And that just doesn't go only for the subreddit. That goes for the other COD subreddits. That goes for when you're playing COD. That goes for everything. If you want COD to grow, you need to be nice to people that don't agree with you.
Yeah. Also, it's just not necessary. It's basic human-to-human respect. You don't need to be doing that.
Yep.
I think it was the Black Ops 2 subreddit where I used to post things about competitive there. And there was a similar attitude there, and some of the people who are posting on the subreddit now, they may have had the same day and doing the same here. It's insane the amount of negativity sometimes. It's not as bad as Twitter or some of the other forums, but it can be a bit bad at times.
Yep. All right, Gom, what's next on your list?
The stream numbers hitting 155k. We talked a little bit about it. Sundance decided to actually prove it because a lot of people doubted that the stream was that high. And for a North American invitational event, numbers that high is actually exceptionally well.
Well, I don't follow anything besides Call of Duty. How much do just a normal league tournament?
Okay,
How many
LOL,
people
LOL is
League-
ridiculous.
League still we're nowhere in the league ballpark. Like, it's
I
not even
know.
close.
I'm just
Or
curious.
Dota,
I
for
would-
that matter.
I would say the same with Dota as well, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like StarCraft it's getting to the point where you could start making an argument that COD actually does get more viewers than StarCraft, strictly on English streams, of course. But and that's a pretty big deal, because if you look at the esport regionally, it's really only big in one region. And if we could get the EU scene to grow, then I think that would help our growth immensely. Imagine another region the size of NA starting to contribute to stream views.
Okay.
I mean, EU COD is in such a weird place right now, because there's only two real teams that we can consider even comparable to American teams, which are TCM and Epsilon. I mean, there are others and whatever, but no one can even really hold a candle up. The problem is, like, you guys started so much ahead of us on competitive COD that I don't think EU are ever going to catch up in terms of skill, which means there's not enough, like, notable faces. Like, I'm a competitive COD fan who supports Optic because there was no EU team to support that was competing well. So, like, until there's like more of a skill gap breach, then I don't see it taking off over here anywhere near as much as it needs to.
Also, Optic has, I don't know if people know this, but Optic has a decent history at EU events. Because, even when they were under Apex, when MLG dropped COD for a little bit there, because Modern Warfare 3, wasn't it? I think MW3 had no LAN support at all.
Yeah, it's MW3.
Because that's a whole nother bone to pick with Infinity Ward, but let's not get into that. They Optic switched orgs at first because Hex didn't want to pay for them to send them into EGLs.
Yeah.
So they started winning. So that's when they were in their tear, kind of, because everybody else kind of quit because their MLG was not really supporting it, so the money wasn't really there. But Optic kept coming over to play in EGLs. So that's why there's a lot of European fans, at least, that came in during that time.
Also, when it comes to EU teams, what I've noticed is for a long time, a lot of them never streamed. And I think that was an issue. You've got a few people streaming now, but I think an issue when it comes to, the general fans of the, excluding the two big teams, a lot of it is lack of streaming and lack of content. So people don't know where to watch them, they don't know how to find out about their favourite teams, how well they're doing. I used to watch Wonder. He used to stream in Modern Warfare 3. But then he kind of dropped off, and it's really difficult to follow then when there's no content being made.
That's true. But I mean, I personally, at least, as far as the EU scene goes, I've liked TCM for a long time now, and I've liked Epsilon too, but I mean, I like TCM more for whatever reason. I don't know. It just drew to them, I guess. I watched them play... When did I see them play last? I don't remember. But I watched them play a bunch during... What was it? I watched the EU championship or the qualifier for COD Champs. That was really fun to watch. And then I watched them all over the place at Champs. And I watched Epsilon almost take out Envy, and I was actually, Sparge, who's in the chat, I was shit-talking him constantly because he was a huge Envy fanboy at the time. And now he just doesn't care because Parasite's on there. But they're good teams. They just got to catch up a little bit. They're just... I completely agree with what... I think Bryn was the one who said it. They're just kind of in a weird spot because they kind of got started after we did, so they aren't caught up with us yet.
If you look at every other esport, it's the exact opposite. EU pretty much dominates NA, and anything else, like any PC esport, Counter-Strike, StarCraft, League, the EU teams are generally a lot better than the NA teams. So it's pretty interesting when you switch over to consoles. Maybe it's just the NA has a stronger console culture, and then that's why they have a stronger scene. But the potential is there, for sure, for EU teams to eventually rise up to the top.
I think there's a big stigma with the EU teams for being, and it kind of expands to the Call of Duty scene as a whole, that the whole shit-talking video that everyone knows of. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, cool.
Well, that is a brutal video to watch, and it is constantly posted on like Cringe and other esports subreddits making fun of Call of Duty.
Yeah, they like that one. Well, they like to generalize and say we're all like that. So, but for those who, I can't talk because I do rage, and Preston can talk about that. But I have a time limit on my rage fits. I only let myself get pissed off for about 2 seconds, and then I just calm myself back down.
I think it's with everyone. You play Call of Duty, you keep your cool for like an hour and a half, 2 hours while you're playing. But anything longer than that, every time you die, it's the other person's fault. You didn't do anything wrong.
That's true.
It's super
Especially
frustrating.
ghosts. Especially
Oh,
ghosts.
Ghosts is brutal.
This game is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I love playing COD, and I love playing ghosts even,
Yeah.
but I hate the game.
Playing versus playing is pretty fun most of the time. I couldn't do what pros do though. 8
I
hours a
couldn't
day
either.
stream, always playing GBs against Warriors every day. Then
Bro, playing like the 3 hours that we play, or 4 hours, whatever it is, I get so
Yeah.
tired of it.
Yep.
I think I played for about 20 minutes on PC, and I got a pretty good PC, and it did run at 60 frames per second when I can max out Battlefield 4.
Yeah, it's a really poor port. It's
Yeah,
very poor.
It's awful on PC, similar to Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2. Which I'm not a fan of either.
And what Sparge is talking about in the chat, I was dumb enough to make him a bet during Champs about TK versus Envy, that if Envy won, I had to retweet every single one of his tweets. So that's why I had the first like 300 and something of my tweets are all just retweets of him. Yeah.
Jesus.
That was
So-
pretty bad.
One thing I've noticed is all these videos that have embarrassed our community with people screaming at the top of their lungs and shouting insults, out of all of them, almost all of them have been UMG or that one Champs qualifier. So do you think
What was
UMG,
What's the champs
the
qualifier?
EU Champs
Oh, okay,
qualifier,
the video I was talking about.
the
Okay.
most notorious one.
Yeah.
But like if you look at the Nahil video or all the other UMGs or the nade shot pushing incident, all that was a UMG. So do you guys think the community should maybe ask UMG, or just UMG should do this on their own to have stricter rule sets, or do you think that UMG has their own sort of laid-back culture and they shouldn't have to change for anyone?
No, I guess with the MLG's been using the soundproof booths, which help that so much.
Absolutely.
I think Clayster and Aches would have yelled at each other a lot more at the X Games if they could hear one another.
Yeah.
But since they're both in soundproof cases, they just yell about themselves being the best.
I guess we can talk about which do we think is better, the two independent soundproof booths or the Octagon from Champs.
Octagon was definitely more
That
entertaining.
was cool.
Yeah.
The Octagon was pretty cool.
And
I
you
like
can't-
that.
It's cool because they can still yell at each other, but the cameras can't hear it, so you can't hear them cussing at each other, and it still looks a little bit more professional than them yelling at each other.
Exactly. Because the players, well, the thing is, when you get heated like that and you get so hyped up playing like that,
It's entertaining as
it's
hell.
it's gonna come out somehow. Like some stupid thing that someone said. Like I don't know if anyone here has ever heard the Goonjar listen in that he probably shouldn't have been on a
Oh
listen.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
Like like what is it? Stupid
Jew-head
throw hair bitch
bitch,
or
something.
Jew-head bitch or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
hear someone say, just hope they're not doing a listening or something like that.
Yeah, they said I hope that wasn't a listen in. But they need to work on, for one thing, they need to like jump into the listen in for a second before they put it on the stream to listen to what's being said.
They
That's
definitely
one
need to warn the players that
Yeah.
they're being listened
Somehow.
to.
Yes.
Someone said like get a light or something like that flashes on when
Or the
Yeah.
the ref that's in the soundproof booth with them can like
Yeah,
tap
yeah.
someone on the shoulder and be like, "Listen in."
Or
You can tell the
even
teammates.
like someone was talking about an idea on the subreddit, which would be kind of cool, like pay-per-views where you can watch from each perspective if you want to. But then the other thing was like where you can constantly hear that player on a listen-in. That's a bad idea in my opinion.
Not
But-
even.
yeah.
That's
but-
so much bandwidth to upload
Yeah.
every single person's.
Well, you just have to run multiple streams for each match.
Yeah.
I mean, it would
The
be
way
cool,
the way that League does it is they actually like pre-record segments where things happen. Like let's say someone's getting a pentakill or whatever, they would already have the team chat pre-recorded, and then when they're doing a playback, then you can hear the listening. However, when you do it that way, you have control over it. Like let's say someone said something really stupid, they could just not play it. So that's another alternative that companies like MLG should probably think about if they want to do listen-ins.
Phantom444 just linked the Goonjar video in the chat if someone wants to look at it. I mean, it's not pretty, and it's kind of a dark moment for us. But
Also, it wasn't an MLG event.
That was at UMG, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was UMG.
Yeah, UMG's got a little bit of a ways to go before they can kind of get the same control that MLG has. I don't mean that like market control. I mean MLG is actually, I don't know if people know it because they don't really advertise it, but they do work on not player. I don't want to call it player control, but kind of
They have
courtesy rules.
They have punishments for players who get a bit too out of hand.
Yeah, they do. They just don't publicize it outright whenever they're punishing someone like you would in Major League Baseball or something where everybody knows when someone gets suspended or whatever. Which is, it's better that way because it keeps it quieter and a lot less dramatic.
Riot, on the other hand, goes full-blown, even if you're abusive in, like, pub matches, will ban you from being a pro. Like, they take that stuff super seriously.
I know. Dude, I play LOL. I do.
And, well, there's users that not everyone plays, right? So, basically, when it comes to things like that, I would prefer that over... Like, I'd rather have something in between, but if it was a choice between what we have now and what Riot does, I would take what Riot does every time.
Yeah. It's a lot more restrictive, but that comes down also to the fact that
The amount of control Riot has.
and also the world that is competitive and the world that is public for COD is much different than what it is for Riot and LoL. Because, I mean, it's hard. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. It's literally almost two different games when you have COD when it's competitive versus not. So if you ban something for someone being an ass in pubs, I don't know. It seems different to me.
I mean, toxic behavior is toxic behavior. I don't
That's
see
true.
how it would be
That's
a
true.
difference.
But
Okay, so another topic. The X game actual results. So Optic won the X Games.
yes, if you
the
didn't
fans-
know,
Yeah,
And
in case you haven't seen the worldwide Optic trend after winning the X Games. TK coming in second, EG with the bronze medal, and then Envy not placing with any of the medals. So what did you guys think about the results?
Envy got screwed in that. Look, the fact that they had to play EG for bronze, which is kind of at the same time they didn't though. I mean, they had to play a really hard team for bronze, but they did get crapped on by Optic, and every other team that outplaced them beat EG. So at the same time, they kind of deserved it.
I don't think Envy got screwed. I think they were the fourth best team there, and the way things panned out pretty much showed it. All four teams ended up playing each other at one point or another, and on that day at that event, Envy was not deserving of a medal. And they also got like double screwed because they got accused of throwing matches, which was in my opinion, was incredibly stupid. But yeah, I think Envy needs to... I don't know if it should be a roster change or what, but they need to make some changes. There's something about that team that's missing.
Well, according to our Twitter conversation with Merc and everybody, Merc is top 30 something. He's terrible and he should be dropped. That's what Merc said.
I think out of all the players on Envy, Merc's the last player.
That's what his point was.
Nameless.
Like,
No, nameless.
Merc is one of the
Nameless.
most consistent people on the team. he just kind of he does it quietly though. He doesn't. Not all the things he does are really flashy and like kind of like screaming plays. He just kind of quietly does things like it's hard to explain.
I don't know, but like against Optic, I mean, like I'm not gonna like say he shit the bed or anything, but like he had a really tough time against Optic. Like
The entire team shit the bed against Optic.
I mean, like I feel like with that team, like if Nameless doesn't turn up and if Study doesn't like hit every single snipe, because Parasite is such a weird player. Like he's sat there on Warhawk with a freaking LMG thermal, like in respawn. Like that's just never gonna work out for you, like ever. I mean, you can run Remington on that map, but not a freaking LMG. His attitude just does not suit Envy at all. And they've already got two big egos in Nameless and Study. I don't think they need a roster change because that's all. It's never going to help them to make a roster change. But I think some of the people on that team need to change their attitudes more. I think they miss Rambo so much.
I miss Rambo.
Rambo is so much fun to watch. He really is. No, I mean, his gun skill isn't as great as anybody else, but even though people really exaggerate how bad his gun skill is, no lie, like, they love shitting on Rambo. But when it comes to the smart plays and blitz and things like that, he's just so much fun to watch. I've learned so much from watching him play blitz, just the way to just sneak around people and get a cap. Preston's seen me replicate stuff that he does on those plays all the time. I'll sit there and watch him forever when he was doing it, and I try to do him all the time.
Okay, so how about EG? What do you guys think about EG's performance?
We kind of already talked about this, talking about how the meta switch from the
vectors,
like 4 MTARs to 4 vectors being pre-aimed constantly.
I think it was TP who said in his video they messed with their timing a lot, and you could see that when they played. It was a bit weird watching, to be honest. It didn't really seem like EG. Like, you watch them at other events and you get the constant aggression, constantly sprinting. It just seemed off this event, at least for domination anyway.
And TK, how about their
Very
performance?
impressed. Very impressed. Goonjar and Neslo, in fact, the whole team, to be honest, is
Apathy
very,
is
very
a
impressive.
monster.
Apathy. Even Sharp proved how bad he is online.
Oh,
on
Sharp
LAN.
always proves how much better he is on LAN. Like, if you look at his KD from online, that's something Rideout probably knows better than I do, but I checked like 2 days ago so I could talk about it today. It was like 0.7 something or 0.8 something. On LAN, he's like 1.14 or something like that. Like, he is drastic amounts better online. Everyone always talks about how when TK broke up, everybody was yelling and screaming about how Sharp was going to shit the bed every time since he didn't have Theory anymore. People forget that he is a very consistent LAN player, other than Niagara, where he played like absolute horse shit.
Who is?
Sharp.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Sharp
feel
was
like Theory has been a lot more impressive on TK than he has
Absolutely.
been recently on FaZe. I think he had a pretty tough 2 events.
Rough, not tough.
Yeah. And then Apathy is really good. He's, I wouldn't say underrated because the subreddit loves him, but
We do not. The subreddit does not love him right now.
maybe not. The last few events, Apathy has really come out as one of those top players, and I think it's beginning to show. And then there's Optic. How did you guys see Optic's performance at the X Games?
Proofy showed up.
They
Simple
wrecked.
as that.
They all did showed up. They all
Clayster showed up. He had a rough event last time,
Yeah.
and
Gump
this
showed up,
time
and Nadeshot showed up. I mean, they all showed up. That's how they won.
exactly. And their S&D game was phenomenal. Sorry, it was the best S&D I've ever seen from Optic in years. Any S&D star that has watched the events over the last 2 years has always noticed Optic's questionable plays, flanking with bomb, flanking every round, just weird plays that any normal S&D star would just shake their head at. And then the last, I would say, COD champs and forward, Optic's S&D has become phenomenal. They're not predictable anymore. They make different plays, new strats. Sometimes it won't be Nate Shot on the flank. Sometimes it will be Scump. Sometimes they won't flank. They'll do all sorts of things they didn't do before. And I think it's really started to show.
Well,
They went undefeated in S&D throughout the entire
Yeah.
tournament.
They were 5-0 on S&D, which was insane to do.
all those wagers they play. I mean, they play them nonstop now. And any pro that does that, I mean, you're not playing BK Randy's whenever you play wagers. Bad kids aren't going to play wagers and lose their money. You're going to play pretty decent players most of the time.
One
So
little
you're
thing
probably
here.
going to get good practice.
I just want to jump in with this. Well, first of all, apparently we have no personality. Like the mods we picked have no personality.
I just
saw
read
that.
that. I'm so upset.
Okay. Oh well. Well, I'm sorry. We're gonna suck either way. So.
I'm not a mod. I got personality. So,
Okay.
No, but overall, like, Optic were so good, and like that was the best I've seen them play in pretty much the entire time I've watched Optic play. Like, they seem to just click more than they have done in Niagara. I mean, I know that was the first event they played together on LAN, but like someone was saying on the subreddit, like their domination game, which is meant to be their strongest game type, was actually their weakest on the weekend. I mean, their blitz has never been great, but the fact they managed to win every single search, and people say search and destroy wins you tournaments. If you can win both your searches, you'll win your tournaments.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
But
I got to talk
So,
about Anaheim.
by the way, the guy who was saying we had no personality, I was kidding. I'm not actually upset about that. That's not. I was just kidding. 'Cause I thought that was funny.
Okay, so coming up soon is Anaheim. So what are your predictions for that event?
Well, let's open the bracket up real quick and run through it.
Go for it.
On the top side is not very stacked, and on the bottom side is extremely stacked. We have Evil Geniuses, Epsilon, Denial, Curse, FaZe Red on the upper side of the bracket, and then we have TK or Vex, whoever qualifies, Curse Black, Optic Gaming, FaZe Black, TCM, and Envy. So I think if you're EG or FaZe Red, you're pretty happy right now if the way things are stay the way they are. And if you're TK or Vex or really any of the other teams on the other side, you're probably a little bit salty.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I still think they should do it the way Niagara did, and even not necessarily have like the top 3 or whatever move up to season. Is it top 3 or top 4 that move up to season 2?
Season 3.
Season 3. Sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm bad.
I think it's the top. Is it top? Oh, wait. You said they're doing a play-in tournament, aren't they?
I don't know because I know they did last time, but I don't know if they are this time.
I don't think they are this time. I think it's just top
just
4
off
from
Anaheim?
I think it's top 4 at Anaheim getting to season 3.
Well, either way, I'd like to see them I'd like to see the top however many from the open bracket play in Champs bracket too. That would just make it so much better. And 11 teams is so awkward.
It is. Do you think if someone like Vex doesn't qualify and then they don't make it into season 3, do you think as an organization Vex would drop their team and pick up one of the amateur teams that moved up?
No.
Do you think that could happen?
No.
I don't see Vex as being that big an organisation to do that. But
I mean, Curse even. If Curse Orange, no.
No.
I thought one of the Curse Orange isn't moving. It's going to be an open, I think.
Yep, they are. They
Yeah.
forfeited their match yesterday.
Yeah.
And-
So, do you think Curse as an organization would pick up an amateur team?
I think it would depend on the amateur team.
Yeah.
If the players were well liked and had somewhat of a following, then maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would seriously doubt it. Like the return on investment you get from a well-known player is a lot more than some random am who managed to get into the new season. But Vex and their Team Caliber situation highlights how awkward online play is, and
Especially since SB just forfeited to TK right
Yeah.
now.
SB's
So-
forfeiting. They're forfeiting to Vex tomorrow.
They're
though.
forfeiting pretty much everyone because of the fact that no matter what they do, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they'll probably make it through back into season 3 again, just because they're actually somewhat decent on LAN.
Who, Vex?
Yeah,
SB.
SB.
Oh, yeah.
SB
yeah.
played phenomenally at the X Games. They were.
Yeah.
They barely.
They had Fizzerp too, though.
Instead
Yeah.
of who? Who? Methods, I think?
Instead
it
of
was
Methods.
Methods.
Methods is only like
Methods
16.
and
I think Fizzerp deserves a shout out. 2 KD and S&D.
Oh, good God.
The highest KD
2.3
by far.
or something like
Yeah.
that. It was insane.
It was way above everyone
To
else.
be fair, I
He
think
really,
he only played 2 S&D maps.
well,
Nachop had
would
like
make
a
sense.
Playthrough,
1.8,
playthrough.
and they played, what, 5 S&Ds?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Fizzit played 3, Nature played 6, I believe. And,
No, they went
They had
5 and
one-
5.
They
It
went
was
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Either
but-
way, both are impressive numbers, and Fizzerp really
Yeah.
showed that he is one of the best S&D players in Call of Duty.
He really is. I mean, I honestly didn't think and I'm just gonna call it bullshit because, and not to say like his little things are bullshit, but it's just like makes me think of like schoolyard bullshit when you're playing football and that kind of stuff. But his little like bullshit things, I didn't think they'd transfer over to LAN from online.
You think they're gimmicky as hell?
I would not in a bad way though.
Yeah.
Like they're gimmicky, but they work. Obviously,
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like his smoke pushes and all those, or
some of them are just kind of strange. They're
Wait,
not
did
things
you
I would
see the
think of.
play? I don't remember who it was against, but he was on Warhawk on mid street, right by the gate, and someone saw him. He threw his smoke down and just sat in the smoke, and then pushed towards Gina's. Do y'all remember that play?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was insane.
yeah. He's a really good S&D player, but like I said, like I still don't think he'll get picked up by a proper pro until like he can prove himself at Respawn online. I mean, he didn't play. He played bad in the first series for EG, but like he played okay in the second series. Like, but he still hasn't got that.
He wasn't the
capability
worst
to
on his
win.
team in Respawn. Put it that way.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think that says a lot about SB, to be honest. I mean, I'm of the opinion that SB aren't that great a team. I think Stainville is now. As much as I hate to say it, I think he's a bit past it. I think he's dropping off a bit, like Rambo was dropping off a bit. But I don't know.
okay. So what are your top 3 picks for Anaheim, everyone?
I think EG will come back. I really do.
I think any sensible person would say OG, TK, and EG.
Are you saying that's the order you want them?
No, I'm just saying those 3.
Okay, I was gonna say. Well, EG is the thing is that I don't know. They really haven't. I'm not gonna go through the whole cliche of saying no practice, but they didn't even try to adapt to the vectors. Really, like just didn't. So, I think that with them, they say all they want about how they're glad they lost, whatever. You know they're pissed.
Oh, dude, I have a picture
they
of them
said they were
during
pissed.
when they were getting their medals, and they look so sad.
Well, look at TP.
They look so
TP's
sad.
video, he was like TP is the quiet one and the calm one. Even he was pissed in that
Yes,
video.
yeah,
they
he was.
made.
Yeah, no,
He's
they-
just like, we didn't get first, we didn't get second, we got fucking third. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, whoa.
no. Here, I'll find the picture real quick and link it to
Krim-
you guys.
Krim made a
You can
statement.
find the
He said that
picture
they
and throw
are
it up
going to win Anaheim.
on the stream for
Oh yeah,
everyone.
yeah. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'll post it in the chat though, so everyone can see it.
Okay.
I mean, you could see from Crim's video afterwards was like after every other event, it's about 8 minutes long, going on about what they did well and how their run went. His video was 1 minute and 50 seconds long, and it was basically him saying, "We were shit. We're gonna win Anaheim. That's it." Like,
If they take the time to adapt to the vector, they'll probably win again. But that's what it's gonna take.
So
And
EG
none of them want to
first.
spend the time right now.
Is everyone with EG first, or does anyone?
I disagree.
I did.
Okay.
I'd say first or second. I can't
I'm gonna-
decide.
Put my neck on the line here because last time, well, every time I predict Optic to win an event, they don't, and every time I don't, they won. They won the first event. They won that event at X Games.
I
I'm
have an
gonna say-
idea for Anaheim for us, since
Go
all
for
of
it.
us are pretty much mods, and well, Bryn, you'd have to get some of the Optic mods on board with this. Between the Optic and the COD competitive sub, see if we can make bets with only the other mods.
Oh yeah,
Some
down
funny
for it.
little things. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
What do you
can-
think?
I posted the link in the chat if y'all want to take a look at it.
Awesome. Yeah, but like I was saying, I think Optic are going to win this event.
I agree.
Um,
I think they. I don't think they want to fall off. I think once they prove themselves that they can hang, and they want to prove that it wasn't just a fluke and they want to stay on top.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question from the chat. If we think anything will happen if the EG doesn't win Anaheim,
Karma.
I think Karma will go. I don't see Krim going, and TP and Hakes sure as hell aren't going anywhere. But
The thing is, even if they do win, I could see a foreseeable future where Karma would be dropped because he has a
Because
kid
of
on
the
the
kid.
way.
that's true.
Yeah, and those
100%.
first few months you're not going to be playing that much Call of Duty.
Mm-mm.
So I could see if there is a shift or a roster change made by EG, it would probably be Karma.
It almost has to be at this point. They've stretched across 2 games being the best team, so and Karma's the only change that's been made. So if they fall off now, it's got to be something to do with him.
I don't think it's something to do with him. I think it's just the other 3 have been playing together so long they're going to drop the outlier.
Yeah,
I think-
Oh,
I think they got kind of complacent as well. They
I have another good Anaheim
been
topic
practicing.
for us too. Do you think XGN Sailguns will make it into
I was
season
about-
3? And
I-
if you do, how do you think that would affect COD Esports?
I was about to actually
Oh.
exact that without hating too much or shooting too many shots at anybody.
Nihil.
Let's not make this a hate cast. It's a podcast.
Let's keep it professional. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make it through.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not worried about us being professional. I'm worried about someone else not being professional. So that's the issue when it comes with that team. Do I think they're gonna make it? No. It depends on how the brackets go. I could see, like, the possibility is there. I would not be thrilled if they made it, but it's I don't think they're a top caliber team.
Under the
Either way.
assumption that they make it, what effect do you think it'd have? If
I
any.
think they'd have to calm down a bit, like their attitudes or whatever, and I think they just get they get destroyed in season 3. Like the pro
well,
teams.
How good are they online? I don't actually know. I've never watched them play online.
I don't think
I don't
anybody
actually
has.
know.
Don't they get eliminated fairly early in 2K tournaments, like first, second round?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do.
mean, well, let's see. I just hope they get matched up with TK Royale or something like that, and then we can all have a good laugh at that.
That would be funny. Whose voice would be higher? And
No, because if they got matched up with TK Royale and then
they would win.
a video of that certain player came up, then not only would we have a bunch of other esports people ragging on us, we would also probably have a bunch of feminists invading
Nice.
our subreddit as well.
Can I,
Aw,
can I
that'd be
change my
brutal.
prediction to TK Royale to win the event now, please?
Okay.
To be
Hey,
so
my
impressive
friends.
in open bracket that just like here, take actual Team Caliber spot in champs bracket. You get to play them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if
to someone in the
Sailguns made it
chat,
into season
Revan
3,
is-
though,
Someone
that
in the
would be
chat, Revan is casting Anaheim.
yes, he is.
Just so anybody
Oh, sweet.
asking.
That'll be awesome.
I don't know. He said he didn't want to go back to casting like 3 months ago, but apparently he does.
On his AMA, he said if it doesn't conflict with his school, he will.
Well, I was just talking about what he had said to me in a Skype call like 3 months ago.
Ooh, private Skype chat.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's not that private. Apparently it's changed.
Leak.
Because when PAX happened, he was talking about how he was thinking that would be his last time casting. But apparently he changed his mind, came back, so.
Okay, so one thing we haven't really outlined is Curse Australia is taking Immunity's spot. In the bracket, Immunity was not able to make it due to financial issues. So how do you think Curse Australia will place?
Let's see who they
Top
play.
8 at
Hold on.
best.
They face FaZe Red, sorry, in the first match.
Probably
well,
beat
if
him
FaZe
the way they've
Red,
been
if
playing.
FaZe Red plays like they did at X Games, FaZe Red is going to get trashed.
Mhm.
Assuming Evil Geniuses wins, Australia will probably lose to Evil Geniuses, and I don't know what the losers bracket will look like, so it's hard to say past that.
All right. But
I see Curse Australia beating FaZe Red.
Yeah, I have them down in my bracket to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then getting beat by EG. But,
I think Curse Australia only has to win against FaZe Red to make top 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think they'll make top 8 then, easily.
yeah.
FaZe Red they didn't look very good at X Games, to be honest. I think it was Classic who didn't do too well overall.
He shit the
He
bed. Let's
shit
put
the
it that
bed,
way.
yeah.
He's not a great player, to be honest, in my opinion.
He
He did
hasn't
well
been
at
for a
one
little
event.
while now.
Did really well at one event, and that was it after that. Was it not his first event too?
Yeah, it was the first Ghosts event of
Yeah.
the
Columbus.
Yeah.
That was over 6 months ago.
Okay, so do you guys want to end here, or are there any other topics you guys have
Well,
thought of?
let's get
Let's
some
go to the
questions
Twitch
from
chat,
the
yeah.
stream. Yeah.
Okay.
Stream, now is your
All they're
time.
talking about is the damn World Cup. Like, they're talking about bloody football rather than competitive.
Spain got
Awesome.
destroyed, absolutely destroyed today.
Yeah.
What's the
they
score
got-
of the Australia game right now? They were down 2-0 in the first 14
Oh,
minutes.
we can talk about Halo esports for a minute.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
I actually had that as my backup topic.
We'll pull
So-
it out.
A lot of people have been wondering what will happen with Halo coming back into the scene. Will MLG pick it up, something like that? So the first thing I want to say is, no, absolutely not. MLG will not pick up Halo. They have exclusive deals with Activision for Call of Duty to be the only console FPS on the circuit. So there's absolutely no way in hell, unless MLG wants to not have exclusive rights to Call of Duty. But I could see Halo being picked up by people like UMG.
Yeah.
Well, if you look, like, MLG announced like an hour and a half ago that Halo 3 was returning to game battles as of today.
Game battles, yes, not
Game
the
battles,
circuit.
But like, this is my point. Like, this is the start of something with this big Master Chief edition that's coming out.
Which is cool.
That was announced at E3, which is like the coolest thing that was announced at E3. I'm sorry, out of everything else, all those games and all the old multiplayer night is going to be awesome. And then you've got Optic Halo returning. I mean, I was going to say before when we were talking about people still leaving EG, if Halo does get picked up again, does Crimsic stay? Does Crimsic go back to Halo?
I think
No.
Crim absolutely stays on Call of Duty.
Crim
I'd
went
pay
to
More
Halo.
money in Call of Duty right now.
Like Crim went to Halo because COD wasn't really going anywhere. Like he started on COD.
Also, he's on a professional organization with a salary. Why would he give that up to?
Yep. More money in COD right now.
Also, what did you guys think of the AW preview at E3?
I didn't see it.
I thought it was pretty weak, even for a single player preview.
I'm personally worried about where it's going to go. Because, I mean, we're seeing all these tweets from people, like, I think we all saw the tweet from Fearcrads and the tweets from Nadeshot and Rambo about competitive. I
Yep.
still don't like this idea of increased motion ability, like this double jumping and this, like, increased speed
I
boost and
agree.
that sort of thing.
It all depends on the execution. It has to be how they do it. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, yeah, but we haven't seen the game, so we can't really judge it too much.
We can't make a judgment until we see that multiplayer launch
Which I'm
thing
so
they-
excited for.
Yeah,
Have
and
they announced properly yet?
they usually save the multiplayer reveal for NBA playoff games. No,
Yeah.
how far is the? I don't follow the NBA at all, so I don't know how far along it is.
Spurs win the
They're in
next
game
game,
4
it's
now.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
I don't know. They were like pretty quiet. Usually, COD reveals are a big thing that they do like a lot of PR and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to keep it low key. Maybe they have another event later on planned. Maybe the multiplayer reveal or another Gamescom sort of deal where they travel around and show the game off. Maybe even a COD XP, although I doubt that.
No.
But the thing about the player tweets is they were very vague. None of them really talked about gameplay. They just said good things are coming up. That could mean a couple things. That could mean the features are great, But even if the features are great, like a league play that works well, or a good spectator mode, even if they're great, if the game still sucks, the game still sucks.
I think more important than anything is just support from the developer. I think the support from the developer is more important than the game being better.
Yeah, and that guy's getting timed out right now.
What did he say?
He's insulting
Yeah,
Dom.
that guy is so freaking salty, man. Like, what's his problem?
It's the same guy who said none of us have any personality.
I mean, maybe we should have him on the podcast. Like, I mean, he's a stand-up comedian or something, isn't he? Like,
Apparently.
Clearly, man. Like, living in Twitch chats.
Legit
why is Boss
rage.
Nasty
Like
not-
we're gonna do this at the end of every show from now on. Just people, like Twitchcast gets to ask random questions. Just doesn't have to be related to COD at all. Just questions about us if you want, or
Here's one. Why is Boss Nasty not Optics coach?
because he's a dirty pub player.
You know, I finally saw that video of Rambo, like, roasting him, that long video he did where, like, he explains everything that's wrong with Boss Nasty, and it's so full of, like, it's so obvious how much of a shit talker he is. You know, like, he did a run-through of Epsilon's play at COD Champs or something like that on his YouTube. I mean, like, go and check it out, and the guy is lost. I mean, I'm an awful COD player, and the dude is like...
Oh, yeah.
he's one of those people that are so delusional, I'm not even sure if he's a troll or he actually believes what he says.
Did you
My
see what...
theory a long time ago was this whole thing is a troll for him to get attention.
Yep.
But considering he's been doing this since Modern Warfare 2, he was making videos then about Rambo and Optic. So I think he just doesn't realise that he's wrong, to be honest, and he's, despite all the criticism he's getting, he's just thinking everyone's hating on him.
And
That's how I look at it.
the weird thing about Boss Nasty is there was an event where he went around and did interviews, and he did a really good job. Like, he was actually really good and had a great personality for that sort of thing. And then he just goes around and then shit talks to pros and completely ruins that.
What I was just going to say is gone. Like, did you see the tweet from MLG earlier about, last week saying retweet if you'd like to see a major Halo LAN in 2014? Very important people will be watching this tweet. 7,700 retweets.
That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. From
That's
what
big.
I don't know. Did he say 2015 or 2014?
14.
2014.
I don't even think they would be able to do it unless it was like a
Halo 4.
promotional thing.
Bryn,
Would it- it
here's a
wouldn't have
question
to
for
be.
you.
Go on.
How did you feel when Gerard slipped?
Let me guess who that was. Was that Kunal by chance? Yeah, of course
Yes.
it was. Yeah, right. That guy's a dick. But how did I feel? Like, it was one of those moments where your whole world collapses in front of you. So, like, not only did I have like my team's chances of winning the league that season, I had like 270 quid resting on it. So,
Jeez.
but yeah. So, and it didn't come through. But oh well. I mean,
What would
that's
we
life, I
rather?
guess.
Then there's what would we rather fight? 100 geese-sized mice, not meese, or are you saying meese? 100 geese-sized meese or 10 meese-sized geese? I'm gonna go with
Fuck
10
some meese.
meese-sized geese. I have no idea.
No, I thought it was 100.
Duck-sized horses.
Yeah, or one
That's what
horse-sized
he asked
duck.
though, so I don't know. And is Jamie ever coming back as a mod? At this point, it doesn't look like it. He's just kind of supervising us still. He's not really like. Well, that's the thing most people don't realize is that Jamie didn't. And I'm not. This is not an insult to Jamie because I love the guy. He's awesome. He used to stay up till like 8 a.m. with me and just kind of troll Omegle. But Sparge, remember that? He's in the chat. But Jamie hasn't really, like, as far as actually interacting with the sub, he doesn't do that much. He kind of just watches over and tells us when we need to do things. That was his role as the creator. He did exactly what we needed him to do. Kind of watch what we do and keep us in line and tell us what needs to be done. Yeah, we did wonder where our usernames came from last week, but we can do that for Bryn, even that's really obvious.
What's that?
Where your username came from.
Oh yeah, it's my Twitter username. It's pretty
And your
simple.
name.
Oh yeah, and my freaking actual name. Yeah.
We haven't done Rideout, though. Rideout
My-
can do his real quick.
My name, Whiteout's my second name. If you Google my name, you'll find up enough about me. But I tried to use Rideout on signing up for a forums a long time ago. It was taken, so I added 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end.
Okay.
And,
My teacher, my media teacher called me P-Money. I don't know why. He just did.
And I guess I'll do mine again. I had a phone. It was like, it's terrible. It was called the Droid Bionic. And I really liked that name. And I went to make Bionic and it was taken, so I was adding a stupid vegetable. That's about it.
When I googled Rideout, it came up with a sex abuse priest.
Should we be worried?
I linked it in the Twitch chat. Oh,
I feel like I should start singing Jamie Come Back instead of Baby Come Back right now. Jamie Come Back.
someone asked what favorite movie of all time is.
Ooh, that's hard. Probably Pulp Fiction. I love that movie.
Ah, it's a good film.
I love Tarantino, man. I love Tarantino.
Yeah, I'd have to say Django Unchained, or like movies I enjoy watching the most would be like Hot Rod. That movie's fucking hilarious.
That movie's so bad.
It's so funny.
For me, is without a doubt either Inception or maybe the first Matrix. But
Yeah, that's
except
a
for
good one. Dude,
I
Revan's
don't-
in that one. Please tell me someone got that joke.
No.
Keanu Revan.
no.
You didn't get the joke? Okay, back, I think it was UMG Atlanta last year, they thought it'd be funny. I can't remember who the other guy was, but they put his name underneath him when he was talking as Keanu Revan. Because he looked like Keanu Reeves at that event. And there was someone else. They had... Who else did they... I don't remember. It's not important, but that's... So that's... yeah, that's why I made that joke.
Did you see that picture I posted in the Skype chat?
Yeah, the killer one.
Yeah,
killer
I
one.
don't know why you linked that. Is that something you took?
Yeah, I took.
Your camera's good.
Yeah. I was
That's
having
like
trouble
a
with
that's
it.
like a classic pose for Killa though.
Yeah, I'm glad I caught it. I caught some funny poses all week. Or all weekend. It was pretty good.
Oh, you just hear him now saying, "Yo, this kid is such a warrior."
Rotate, homie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. Players saying they want a neutral host during LAN events.
That
What do you guys
that's-
think about that?
I see no reason to argue
Yeah,
it.
I don't. If someone gets an advantage because of it, which I don't know, do they? Does anybody know for sure?
Yeah, they do.
Slightly.
Yeah. So
Surely
if
it's
they,
negligible, though. Surely.
I don't think it's negligible even. I think it's like noticeable.
Even
like,
if it is
maybe-
negligible, take away something for them to complain about.
I think it was around 50 to 70 milliseconds.
Wow, that's kind of big actually.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair enough. Then if it is.
someone's
I mean,
roasting
like,
us in the chat, Cloak. So why do you
Guys,
guys
do
do
this.
this if you're irrelevant?
Because we enjoy
you
it.
Fucking enjoy it, yeah.
We like doing it. It's something we enjoy to do, and people kept talking and asking us to do a podcast for our
And
COD competitive.
Also, COD sorely needs a podcast that talks about competitive Call of Duty.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice to have something where at least the people that are in the business. Which this week it's a bad example because we don't really have an insider that we normally have, but. We
had
were supposed
two
to have
guests,
Gandhi.
both of them fell through.
We were supposed to have
So-
Gandhi, and it turns out he had something to do for work, so he couldn't come on. But Gandhi was supposed to be here today, so sorry, guys.
Question from the chat: how do you rate Nadeshot in After X Games? Is Nadeshot a good player?
Yes.
Obviously. He was
Nadeshot's
good
always
on before.
been. Yeah, he's been fairly
In
consistent on
S&D,
LAN.
he's like top 8, probably.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'd say he's a bit higher than top 8. I go top 5.
Here's one for you. If you were to create an S&D God Squad, who would you have on it?
Fizz is on there.
Obviously.
Just use the search bar, dude.
Oh, God. That's true.
Roasted.
When I was working on the subreddit, I don't know if anyone knows, but we're working on a subreddit redesign. Not drastic, so because people keep getting angry, asking, why are you redesigning? It's already pretty.
Fucking
So-
copiness, man.
We had it first, you idiot.
Just change the color scheme.
Okay, but we're switching it over to CSS3 to where it's coding as opposed to just images. And we wanted to change a couple things, like the sidebar, like the subscriber button and that kind of stuff. We wanted to change it to where it's actually a button and not just a little green thing. So, and I was doing that, and I showed a couple people, just to get feedback. I showed them my tester sub, and but people were like, you need to make the search bar just like take up half the page. And I was just like, yeah, maybe then people would use it. But that's because that's an issue. It really is. We have so many repeat posts. Even people who just don't look at new and like look down.
Yeah, that was an issue.
We had it earlier today. Even somebody posted a video, one of Hitcher Ride's videos, when Hitcher Ride posted it like 2 minutes beforehand.
I think a lot of it is this subreddit attracts new people to Reddit.
Yes.
I think that's a big issue when it comes to that. Because if someone finds this subreddit from, COD Ghost to another subreddit, they're most likely familiar enough with Reddit to use the search bar, know when to downvote.
I don't remember how I found this Reddit, but this Reddit is the reason I use Reddit now. I didn't before.
Same here.
Yep. I mean, well, actually, no. I knew Reddit before COD Competitive, but I kind of had quit using it for a little bit, and then I started using it again once I found COD
I
Competitive.
knew about Reddit, but I was always pretty against it.
I never really ventured past the front page until other than a few subreddits I won't name, but which that probably not saying it says more than saying it. But that was when I was in high school, and then once I started going to college, I don't know, it just kind of came back. I started playing around on Reddit. I used funny and images funny and pics and all that stuff a lot, and I found COD Competitive. So, and then I just started to get really, really, really active, and then they asked me to be mod. And contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, no, I did not pay for it.
I don't know, dude. I saw a username like that one time. You sure?
Yeah, that dude's shadow banned anyway.
Maybe IP ban. Who knows?
Okay, so you guys wanna end things off now?
Well, any more questions from the chat real quick?
Yeah, just ask them see if they have any more things to
Yeah.
say. Why is
Why
Canadorks
is
not a
Canada-
mod? Because reasons.
Why do you think Canadog's not a mod?
He likes trolling too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's not a bad guy now.
That's all.
Although
Canadorks
if him
for
and
podcast.
if him and Dynamite go into it again in the IRC, I'm banning them both because they pissed me off that day.
They both need to be on the podcast for sure.
They do. If they both agree, I would have them on here, but not by themselves.
Will Mister. We record this and CJ will upload it to a YouTube channel and then link it on the subreddit. So even though
Actually,
you said you're
my
late,
recording errored out in the middle, so I'm going to try and pull it from the Twitch VOD and then re-upload it.
yes, he can do that too. So you'll be able to watch it later, hopefully.
Okay.
All right.
What's the
well,
last
I
question? Do you
think
want last question?
one more.
Phantom, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
What's the stupidest thing you've ever done? This is more of a freaking AMA for us.
That's kind of what makes it fun.
Yeah, it is, man.
Stupidest thing I've ever done. Sparge in the chat knows this about me already. I don't want to tell it, actually. That's way too
No, you have to
personal.
tell it now. You have to tell it now. That's not like... how it
They
works. You
have
to say it.
gotten
Nope.
engaged for a little bit.
We're just gonna end it here. Everyone can guess in the chat what CJ did that was so dumb. But until next week, guys, thanks for listening.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
One last thing. Shout out to Huddle. He
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
recovering from a heart condition. He just had heart surgery, and our thoughts and prayers are with him. So that's about all.
This is a great situation for us to show it's more than just a people who like COD. That's my point. We need to we can step out of that kind of light and show people we actually care. So, that's about it. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks for listening, guys.